Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily live series. Today is our first live, and I have actually decided to come live every day in this group and in my clients' group in order to give each other support and also be there for you every day when the day starts and we want to try to be as motivated and as ready to go on with our lives as possible. But first, I want to give you a little introduction on why I decided to start with those daily lives. And by the way, if you come in live or if you're listening to the recording, please type in the chat and tell me who you are, where you're from, what is your business, and at the end we'll have time for Q&As. So if you have a specific question, and I'm talking about business essentially, as you know, you'll be able to ask your question. But first, I would love for you to type in your name and what you do, where you're from, and I'll address specific questions at the end. So the reason why I thought that this was the time to start the daily lives, some of you may remember me from our 21-day challenge during Corona, where I came in live every day for 21 days. And it was similar, but it was different, right? It was similar because we didn't know what to do with ourselves. We were stuck at home. There was a lot of insecurity, a lot of things we didn't know. But on the other hand, it was also very different because I, for my part at least, was less emotionally affected by what happened. And today, I think that not only we have the insecurity, we don't know what to do with ourselves, but we also are very, very much more emotionally connected. Good morning. I'm just going to put on the live here so I can see your names, everyone, because I don't see the names. Hi, Hannah. I'm just gonna put the live here so I can see the comments. It's important for me to know who is giving me comments here. Um, and so what I was saying here is that what we see now is that we went through phases. Okay, I see Yael Solomon said good morning, and Hannah, great. So I can see your names here, and I was saying that we're actually seeing we went through different phases. A lot of people speak about the phases of the trauma. We were in shock. Then we've been mourning. Some of us are still mourning and now are going to go into a period of time that is very we don't know how long, but we know it's going to be a few months. And seeing that it's going to be a few months, I thought about all of us business owners, entrepreneurs who cannot afford to be in state of shock or mourning for a whole month on the one hand. On the other hand, we can't also continue to function as if nothing happened, right? And so I started thinking about what could be, I'm a big fan of systems. What could be the system or the roadmap that we can follow so that we would know how to make room for those feelings and those emotions, but at the same time continue to function not only with our business, but with ourselves, with our loved ones, and with our business because we need the money. Some of us are relying on this revenue to pay the bills at the end of the month. And so we need to be able to work on our resilience, right? A lot of people speak about resilience. And I did a little research on that. And what I found is that the difference between resilience and resistance is that resistance is when you're holding straight and, you're fighting it or you're being strong. And resilience is the ups and downs, right? Resilience means that we can fall and get back up, fall and get back up. And now a lot of it is going to happen like that in the next few months. And if we don't practice our muscle of resilience, and I talk to myself as well, everything that I'm saying to myself as well. I'm not here teaching or giving lessons or, I'm just here sharing with you how, I'm doing it for myself and trying to help you do it for yourself. And I would love for you to share with me if this is helpful. So type in the chat when something is resonating with you. But this muscle of resilience is a muscle that we have to practice to be able to, we're going to have downs and to be able to go back up. And so with our business, we are used to this actually as entrepreneurs, right? Most of you probably have been in ups and downs, when you have a campaign that works or when you have a client that comes in and then all of a sudden you have a few weeks without nothing. So we are used to those. We have this muscle of resilience. Now we're asking us to stretch that muscle, right? To make it a little bit more like, the higher ups and I hope higher ups, but also lower downs. And so this is really important for us to get together to support each other. And that's why I'm coming in every day. Now, I want to say two things before we start. The first thing is, I understand if some of you are not ready for this. If some of you are still in the trauma phase or still in the shock or still in the mourning, and this is something that is you're not ready to refocus on your business. You're not ready to think about, to think about your business. And by the way, I would love for you to type in the chat, yes, I'm ready to refocus, or no, I'm not ready, whether you're listening to it live or you're listening to it later. And I want to give you space for those of you who are not ready to refocus to accept that. There's nothing that you are going to do. I mean, no one can force you to be ready for that, right? It has to come from yourself. And if you're not ready, then we will be here whenever you are ready. We will be here, the group, the community, the network. Those lives are going to be for a long time. I don't know yet. I mean, during Corona, I decided 21 days. But this time I was like, I don't even know if I can say 21 days. I don't even know how long, right? So I'm just going every day and coming and showing up every day for you as long as it takes. So for those of you who are not ready for this, it's okay. Just take your time, take care of yourself, and come back when you're ready. For those of you who are ready to refocus on your business, and I see Yael Solomon is saying, yes, I'm ready. Well, if you are ready, then this is why I'm here. I'm here so that we can do it together, so that I can share with you tips, strategies, ways to think, or ways to prioritize your projects that are very strategic and that will still give you enough time and headspace to be able to heal yourself, to take care of yourself. Because I don't believe in, doing it the aggressive way. I don't believe in going full house and saying, yes, now I'm going to come. And even if I did believe in that, it wouldn't work. I mean, it's not something like we cannot say now we're going back all in. And yes, we're doing campaigns and we're doing promotion. This is not going to work. We have to do it soft. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our alignment with what's happening, right? Alignment is not only between us and ourselves, but it's also with our surroundings, with our loved ones, with our country, with our people. And so if you're ready for that, we're going to talk about how we can get back on the horse and how we can, and some of you may have already, gotten back on the horse, and that's great. That's great. But I want to do it together. So if you're in, you come in every day at 10 a.m. Israel time, and we're doing it together. The second thing I want to say before we start, I mean, we started already, but before we dive in, the first topic of today is I want to say that I'm talking to everyone, not only, I mean, of course, in priority, the women entrepreneurs who are in Israel, because I live in Jerusalem, for those of you who don't know. And I'm sure that the people that live in the south, the people that live in the north, or the people that live in all the cities that have been hit, I know Jerusalem, we are being spared. We've had only a few sirens. And so, but I want to say that I'm also talking to the women, the Jewish women entrepreneurs of all the world, because this is a global network. And even if, again, in Israel, we've been, of course, more, there's the attack is happening geographically here. We all know that this is an attack on the Jewish people. And so the Jewish women entrepreneurs around the world are also attacked. A lot of them are suffering from either direct anti-Semitism attack or from fear of anti-Semitism attacks. And so it might also be, and I'm sure it is also very hard for them to manage their business and to go about their day. So I've decided to do those lives at 10 a.m. Israel time because, yes, it is the time that we Israelis and Europeans, by the way. So if you want to type in the chat where you're from now, that would be a great time for me to know, what time zone you're on. Because I know Europeans, it will be 9 a.m. Israel would be 10 a.m. And I know that all the the other time zones like the US, maybe the UK can catch it from 8 a.m. We have more than 20 countries here in this global network, but I want to say that those of you who are not up at this time, I want you to know that you can catch the replay whenever you get up and listen to this from the group. You can go back into the live, and I would love to hear your comments. So this is not the decision to make it at 10 a.m. was a decision to support in priority the now it's the same time in South Africa, I guess. Yes. So I want you to know that this decision to make those lives at 10 is of course to support the Israeli women first. And sorry if sometimes I lose my thoughts. I've been also seeing this lately, that I sometimes get confused and my mind goes blank. And so during these lives, I might have to catch myself back because it happens to me much more than before. And I'm sure that you see that too. Like, I know what I want to say, but all of a sudden I'm like going blank. And I think that this is also our mind, not being able to cope with everything that's happening. So I'm apologizing, but I'm sure that you understand. So those were the things that I wanted to say. And the last thing is, if you have a specific question on your business, I'll be happy to address it. We'll do a Q&A. Today is going to be a little longer because I had all this introduction, but usually I want to make those lives, I want to make those lives between 15 to 20 minutes. And I'll keep the 5 minutes before for Q&As so that you can bring in your specific question. Okay, so today I want to speak. I want to speak about priorities because how do we prioritize our day? How do we prioritize our projects? How do we prioritize what we have to do? And this is something that I've been talking about in our weekly support meetups, which, by the way, you can join every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And if you need the link to that, just put it in the comment, and I'll put the link. Those have been really, really helpful, and I've been holding a breakout room on how to manage our business during these times of war. And one question that comes back a lot, and I think that this is the first thing that I want to address in the refocus, is, how do I prioritize? What do I start with, right? My mind is going all over the place. First of all, some of you may still have kids at home if you're in Israel and you have no school. Some of you may have relatives that are, your kids, your husbands, maybe someone that is a reservist. We have all those emotions, right, that are coming up for us, and we don't really know, even if we have the strength to say, okay, now I'm going to sit down, I'm going to work on my business. We don't know how to manage priorities. And so the first thing that I want to tell you, and by the way, I've put together 10 steps on how to refocus in your business, and I will share with you different steps as we go. I'm still working on putting it together. As we say, everything is happening really fast. But once I have this document, I will share it with you, the 10 steps to refocus. But the first step is to really, really prioritize in terms of not thinking about, I have my personal life, I have my kids, I have my family, and I have my business. The first thing you want to do is you want to put yourself at the center of your life. And the business is one aspect of it, but you have to make sure that everything around you is taken care of even before you can look at your business. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. It's not that you are a mother and you are a wife and you are a friend and then sometimes you're an entrepreneur. You are the same person. And if you don't take care of yourself as a woman, or as a human being, and don't take care of your loved ones, or don't take care of your neighbor, or don't take care of everything else that's happening before, or your self-care, then you are not going to be available for your business, on the one hand. On the other hand, if you spend your whole day taking care of your kids, taking care of your self-care, taking care of your neighbors, volunteering, which we'll talk about, right? This whole dilemma of helping, not helping. If you if you speak about sorry, if you don't know, if you do that the whole day, then you're not going to do anything in your business. So type in the chat yes if that makes sense, right? So on the one hand, we want to prioritize and look at after everyone, and on the other hand, we can't spend our whole day looking after everyone, because if not, we don't take care of our business. So my solution for you in this dilemma, right, of do I help everyone? Am I here for my kids? Do I need to look out for my neighbors, or do I need to go volunteering, or do I sit down, in my business in order to really work out this dilemma? It's about doing it all, but smaller. Let me explain what I mean. Meaning, you can't really afford, quote unquote, afford to start working on your business if your kids need you, right? You can't really, sit down, do work on a campaign if you know that your neighbor needs something urgently and doesn't have it. I mean, all this you can't. So let's not expect from ourselves to be like, to divide ourselves into there's my regular life and there is my business life. It's the same, okay? So what I did and what I'm doing and what I think I'm giving you as a tip to do is to every day, because we're not here to manage long-term projects. Every day has a new reality, right? So every day, sit down and manage your priorities according to the specific day, but close it in time, meaning like reduce the amount of time that you would do something. So for example, you could, if your kids at home, you could be spending the whole day taking care of your kids. If you want to volunteer, some people I know are volunteering the whole day. If you know that something needs your attention, or if you want to know what's happening with the war, you can spend your whole day watching the news. So the idea here is, in order for us to take care of ourselves, is to be able to put a limit to that amount of time that we're going to do something, so that we have room and time to do everything. But the difference is that we're not going to be able to say, this whole week I will do this. Let's just take the whole day as a project. And let's just make believe that you are, well, not make believe, but because you are the CEO of your business, right? But the project that you have to manage is today, right? One day at a time. The project that you have to manage is today. So what do your kids need today? Not in life, not in general, not the whole thing that they need, but what do they need today? How much attention can you give them today? How much time can you afford to give them today? What is the organization or the system that you can put in place, so that if they, I don't want to give you advice for your kids, because that's not my specialty, but how do you manage your kids just for today, right? That's the first thing, because those are your loved ones that are here. If you want to listen to the news and you want to know what's going on, what is the one time during the day that you will do that? Either it's in one time in the evening, one time in the morning, because again, you can spend your whole day listening to the news, but it's not going to help you, right? You need to take care of yourself. That's a priority. And I know we say that all the time, because as entrepreneurs, we are the engine of our business. We are the machine that makes the business work. If we are not taking care of yourself, we're not sleeping well, we're not eating well, we're not exercising. And again, I'm not saying spend 2 hours a day at the gym. Do 10 minutes. If I'm not saying like spend half a day preparing your meal. No, just spend half an hour, right? So again, taking everything that you have to do and putting it in smaller scale, and just looking at your day as the one project that you have to go through, that you have to manage. This is my project. I'm going to spend an hour with my kids. The rest, I'm going to know where to put them or how to make sure that they're taken care of. I'm going to watch the news once. And if I want to help and I want to volunteer, I'm going to do one thing a day, and I'm going to decide how long this is going to take me. Is it going to take me an hour? Is it going to take me 2 hours? It cannot take the whole day. And I know you know that. I'm here to remind you. I know that your mind knows that you cannot spend your whole day volunteering and helping, but I'm here to remind you that you cannot spend the whole day volunteering, not only because your kids need you and because your loved ones need you, because you need yourself. You need, again, what we're doing here is we're reminding ourselves how our time is our most important resource. And we'll talk about the money, which is our also important resource. We'll talk about financial projections. We'll talk about all that as business owners. We have to take care of that. But right now, we first have to manage our time. We first have to go back to managing our priorities, and we're not saying yes to a lot of things or no to a lot of things. We're saying how much time. That's how I want you to shift your mindset, right? Not am I doing this or not, but more how much time, um, how much time can I give to that, and where is it on my priority list. Now, your business, I will say today, because we are looking at a long-term award that is going to last a few months. And again, whether you're in Israel or whether you are abroad, your business needs to be on that list, right? I know that today we can say, and again, I said in the beginning, if you're not ready for this, I understand. And you can come back when you're ready, and you can listen to this and just listen every day until, the penny drops. That's fine. But if you are ready, to at least make the effort, it's like going back to exercising or going back to eating, healthy. It's not going to happen in one day. It's going to happen slowly, slowly, slowly. So when you carve out time in your day and you say, I need to spend an hour today on my business, that is already the first step. That's why I'm starting from priority and time management, because it's if you don't have in your mind the structure of your day, then your business is going to be the last thing you're going to take care of, because as you know, the difference, it's important, but it's not urgent. And everything else feels urgent, right? Everything else feels urgent. But we have to slowly but surely going back to also what's important, right? It might not be urgent to eat healthy right now, might not be the first urgent thing to do, but it's so important, because if not, we're going to lose ourselves around the day, right? It might not be urgent to work on your business, but it is important, because if not, you might not, for some of us, might not know how to pay the bills at the end of the month, right? So we have been on this urgent reaction, flight or freeze reaction of we have to do what's urgent. And that was okay for the first few weeks of the war. But now we have to get back onto the, yes, I will take care of the urgent, but I also have to take care of what's important. Okay. And the trick with the important is that we don't see it because it's not urgent, right? So our business, okay, so I can't take care of my business right now. I'll just, we'll see later, right? Because we don't see the urgency. Of course, no one is dying. Of course, it's not a life and death situation. But if you keep on postponing what's important, you're going to have to deal with much bigger problem, whether it's health problem or financial problems, or I don't want, you know what I'm talking about, right? So it's really about starting little and saying, now what is the one time during the day and the length of time. So for some of you, it might be an hour. For some of you, it might be 2 hours or 3 hours, depending if you have kids at home, depending what is your situation, where you live, depending on, all other things. But it doesn't matter where you are on the scale of, being affected by the war or, being in an urgency state. I still want you to do this exercise of saying, what is the one time and the length of time that I can give to my business every day? And you can start small. You can start with an hour. You can start with 2 hours. What is after you took care of your kids, after you took care of yourself, after you took care of your family, your loved ones, after you made the phone calls that you need to make sure that everyone is okay, after you volunteered, or you gave yourself the time to help someone because it's important for you. And that is also part of how we need to recover from this. Um, and I want to talk also in this time management and this priority management about social media, because social media is something that can trick us as being looking like urgent, but really it's not even not important and not urgent, right? So for some of you, for some of us, social media is where we also promote our business, where we have an image, where we are, we have a message, right, to share. And so I'm not saying it's not important, right? It is very important, but it's not urgent. That's it, is the difference, right? It is important strategically for you to be on social media because it might be the tool where you use to reach out to your clients, reach out to your community, to your followers, and promote and sell your products and services. It might be important for you because this is the place where you decide that you are going to defend Israel and that you will promote messages so that people understand more what's happening in Israel. It is, I always say social media is a wonderful tool, right? Oh, we have someone from Los Angeles. Okay, I don't know what time it is now from Los Angeles, but I'm happy that you can reach us at this time zone. And so social media is important, but not urgent. What does it mean? It means that if you have notification on your phone that every time someone posts something on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on YouTube or wherever is the platform, that you are connected to, and you react right away, then you are breaking up your day, and there is no way that you're going to be able to take care of all those blocks of time that we have talked about before. And your emotional state is not going to be up and down. It's going to be like this, right? It's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or maybe even down, 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 depending on what you're watching or what you're seeing. And so I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying don't be on social media, right? I'm just saying decide how many times a day you want to check in your social media and how long. Give yourself like a structure of your day so that you have the time that you spend with yourself, that you take care of yourself, of your health, of your sleeping habits, of your, we're going to talk about the new routine. We'll do a whole day of that. A whole session on that. Think about like, what do I need to do now in my new routine? We'll talk about the new routine. What do I need to do today? Is it 5 minutes of meditation? Is it 10 minutes of nap, taking a nap? We spoke about taking naps. Is it 15 minutes of preparing a healthy meal? I want you to consider yourself as a project and everything around you as a project, and one day at a time. Okay, so first myself. How am I taking care of myself? Then my loved ones. How am I taking care of my kids, my family, my friends, right? Then I can talk about how long I want to be volunteering, if whatever decision I've made or whoever I'm helping, but how long is it going to be? Or is it going to be every day? Could be once a week, could be twice a week, but I want to put limits, not just I'm volunteering and I don't know how much. Then how much time I'm spending on social media, not the whole day or not at all, but how much time and how often do I want to check in? Do I need to remove I know it's very hard to remove notifications right now because we feel like we have to be connected all the time, but slowly know where to, how often do you want to be connected to social media? And then what is the time that I'm investing and deciding to put for my business? And like I said, depending on your situation, it could be 1 hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be half an hour, right? But I want you to look at your day and say, okay, today I'm going to work on my business from 3 to 4. That's it. Or I'm going to do volunteering from 11 to 12. Or I'm going to be on social media once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Or I'm going to watch the news only in the evening. Or I'm going to prepare my food and eat my lunch from 12 to 12:30, right? Or 12 to 1. I'm going to do my exercise in the morning. So by going back to those reflexes of managing your time and managing your priorities, and we'll talk about, once we go into the business, what are the priorities inside the business. Right now, I want you to look at your whole day and every day decide, what am I going to give a priority to and how am I going to block my day? That is my first tip for you to manage your business during the war, because we have to take care of everything else. We can't just say, let's dive into business. And we'll, like I said a few times, I said we'll talk about this. We'll talk about our new routine. We'll talk about priorities inside our business. We'll talk about financial projections. This is really taking it one step at a time, right? Sharon is saying that's how I survived COVID: a strict scheduled and meal plan. Okay, this is what. So we need to go back to that. We need to having a strict schedule and having, if whether it's around food, whether it's around your kids or your business, but I want you to have one day at a time your schedule and your priorities for the day. I hope that this was helpful. I want you to type in the chat if this is helpful, whether you're listening to the live or you're listening to the recording. I see, and in the meantime, I can also spend another few minutes answering specific questions on your business, because I know I'm bringing topics that I think could be helpful, but you might have one question in your head that you don't know how to deal with, and you're like, okay, all this is really nice, but I need to know how to do specific this, right? So I don't want to. I mean, I want to bring you content that is going to give you tools on how to manage all this. We have Rose who's saying helpful, amazing. I'm so happy. But on the other hand, if you have a specific question, whether it's related to when do I promote, or what to do with with my business, a specific question, I'm happy to answer that question. By the way, you can put your question after with tagging me, and I'll come back to it. But I feel that this is something that if we do every day, so we did a big reminder today, and this was the introduction, but every day we'll take one topic at a time and we'll dive in the topic, because first of all, we can't talk about everything at the same time, but also I want you to take small bites, right? Small bites, and organizing your time and organizing your priority and organizing your day is the first thing that we need to do before we even talk about what to do inside the business, right? What to promote, how to promote, whether or not to do passive income, whether or not to go global, how to reach people from overseas, how to manage your money generating activities and your exponential growth activities. All of this we'll deep dive every day. I've broken it into different tips and different content, like small bites. But like I said, I'm happy also to answer specific questions you have on your business. You can type them in the chat, and I will answer them either now, or if it's not during the live, you can tag me and you can say, this is my question. By the way, I will also use your questions as a way for me to know what is a topic that people need to hear about, right? So if it's a specific question that I can answer now, I will say, yes, this is, we'll try to answer as best as I can. But if I feel like this is a topic that everyone can benefit from, then I will take it as a live topic, and I will go deep dive into your question during a specific live. I also want to remind you of the different, meetings that we have in the group. So, like I said, every day at 10 a.m. Israel time, we'll be here for daily lives. We'll also have a few times a week. Right now, it's on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We'll have interviews of either business owners that are participating with initiatives to the war efforts, or a highlight on the specific entrepreneurs to help them get more promotion, more exposure, and you're welcome to reach out to me by private message if you feel like you have either a story to share, or how you helped the war effort, or how you're helping small business owners. We've talked about a few different initiatives already in those interviews that we'll go after in the podcast. So that is Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 6 p.m. Israel time. And then we also have a weekly meetup, which is happening every week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And again, just type in the chat if you need the links, or send me a private message to know how to register to all of this. But this is our ways of supporting our global network during those times. So we're here for you. So again, I don't see any questions for now, but if you have questions later, type them in the chat and I will answer them. and keep them for the daily lives, right? I know that now it's new and you might not have a question right away. So if you have a question for tomorrow, bring it to the Q&A and type it in the comments, and I will address as many questions as I can. Until then, I'm going to say stay safe, of course, take care of yourself, and make sure that you take your whole day as a project with priorities and manage your time and be mindful about how you spend your time. Don't forget to have self-compassion. You need also time to rest, to nap, maybe sometimes to do nothing, to talk to your friends, maybe to change your mind with reading or watching a movie. Okay, be mindful and have self compassion for yourself. Sending you much love and see you tomorrow.